Welcome to the Parody, where we tell it the victims and all our favorite media. I'm Justy Rose, and today we're looking at one of the most divisive Roblox films of all time, Radioactive, released in 2020, right in time for the pandemic. Radioactive follows the story of two girls stuck inside their own home during a zombie apocalypse. The reason they have to stay at home is because their dad left them behind during their mother's pregnancy. But it appears that they're gonna be pregnant with zombies. Also, sorry for the messy audio that's gonna be prevalent during this. It's gonna be very echoey because I'm not in my normal recording space. That's all there is to it. It's one of those Roblox movies, profoundly appearing in the sad genre, with lots of moments throughout the film designed to make you break out into tears. The film is far from being a great one, with many problems. There is a questionable voice acting throughout.
What in there?
Girls, are you okay? Jeez, that storm did some damage.
Some inappropriate music choice during certain scenes.
We're getting breaking news from the town of Laurel Springs. Over to our correspondent, Saki, at the scene.
And some editing that defies the laws of aspect ratios. And the film's kills are subpar. But although at times a bore, it does kinda have a fast pace. And it runs at a low running time of only 28 minutes. Although by no means great, it's a fine film, I suppose. How many kills personally didn't factor anything to me? Let's find out and get to them. The movie begins with the only sense of danger throughout. We crossfade into the opening credits in a random city. Oh, and they also tell us the very obvious. The real opening credits take place and they defy the laws of all aspect ratios. If there's one thing about the text, it should not go over the bars. I'm fine with Time Heroes doing it because that's supposed to be dialogue. Because where else are you supposed to put it? Right in the middle of the frame? No. But alas, at least the title card's kinda good. We see their dad inside the house, who's apparently a master at flipping pancakes. And the first signs that show this film is very good come right off the bat.
Girls, hurry up and get ready for school. I've made you pancakes and they're gonna get cold if you don't get here soon.
We should be glad that the father's voice actor, Lush Pappy, is giving a good performance. Speaking of the daughters, here they are now. The one in black is Allison, and the fucking flannel is Ellie. Ellie's very worried about the weather conditions outside.
Wow. Oh my god.
The horrible audio quality, the reading of the line, and the inappropriate music placement make that moment amazing. This right here is their mother, who quickly informs her father that she's about to be in labor. That leads to this very awesome line delivery.
What? Oh my gosh, it's so early. I'll call an ambulance.
He's really giving it his all. The nearest hospital that serves pregnancies is in Brookdale, 1 hour away from there. This means Allison and Ellie are gonna be home alone, except they're gonna have their grandpa coming. Allison lays off some ground rules, which basically just says, go watch TV, you idiot. I bet if someone fell in love with Allison, they'd say her partner fell in love with an emo girl. Good option or not? Since she's apparently bored out of her mind, she decides to go watch the news. Oh great, they're covering a radioactive spill with their correspondent, Saki. They're in Laurel Springs, where there's apparently been a chemical spill sent to them on social media. After suspicions arise, Saki then dies from a zombie that falls onto her. And apparently that makes remotes disappear. Since they've found a lure of 5 attacks, they're putting that town under quarantine. Allison doesn't want to hear about it because no one's going on the count right now. Eventually, she gives in and walks down the stairs. Ellie tells her to look at what they're saying on the news, which is nothing. Seriously. I'm not kidding. Don't we also need an interrupter in this scene?
This is not a drill!
Thank you! Ellie says that she and Allison should escape, which he immediately contradicts, saying that they should wait for her grandpa to get there. Allison has a more thoughtful answer, saying that they don't have any weapons, it might be too late for Grandpa, and the whole town is quarantined.
What does that mean?
Were you too busy analyzing that correspondent's death to realize that quarantine means that no one can come in or out? Did you not hear that part of the broadcast? They decide to reach out to their parents about this on the landline they have in their home. They tell them about the quarantine, but their mic quality sputters out a bit. Eventually, they disconnect. They go upstairs to an obviously locked door, so they decide to barge in there. And apparently that hurts, who would've known? They go back and forth on their bonds, forgetting that they had weapons to steal up here, remember? They finally spot a bow and arrows, and we get daydreams about archery. She was pretty brave about that one, am I right? Allison's choice of weapon? A shotgun. But eventually, they hear some noises outside. Birth! Oh look, it's like a little Roblox baby. They decided to let the fully grown teenagers name the baby, and speaking of them, how are they doing? Staticky, I assume.
Oh, be sure you're gonna say something about antennas. Those are actually analog TVs. You remember those got discontinued?
Their grandpas managed to score some kills outside, though. 2 zombies, to be exact. I assume both zombies are female, however. Are you seeing this, Allison? It's someone that actually values us. Welcome back, Gramps.
Does your dad have a supply cupboard?
Oh, I get it. You're a sleep-deprived 20-year-old. Good idea. So luckily, he did have a supply cupboard, so they start boarding up their own home. Grandpa also brought a map with him, so they have some planning to get up to. Yeah, but screw that. Their grandpa asks them for hot chocolate, and they go get it. Hey, while y'all do your play, I hope one of you spills the hot chocolate on it so you're just screwed. An even bigger factor, the sound of broken glass. He then instructs them not to move as he shoots 2 off-screen targets. I don't know what these are, but he then tells them to get to point 1, so I don't think it was like any zombies or anything. Alright, now they're in the sewers. Ella gets all her WTs asked for Grandpa, and he doesn't get on. What doesn't help are some sound effects we hear. It's okay, Grandpa's still alive. But he still sounds like a 20-year-old throughout the rest of his time here. Maybe 30? I don't know. Also, I'm sick of this thing being so inconsistent with all of its zombies, so for any zombie we see that we never see again, I'll just be putting them on this list. So we can put the 8 other zombies from earlier, subtract 2 because we already counted 2, and then make 6 in total that we have to include. Great. You know what I want to include? Their argument, because I just want to get over with this already. But one thing I will include is the glitchy transition that shows us another zombie threat. That one, however, gets killed with an arrow. Grandpa is also taking notes, as he sees a few more zombie threats in the tunnel. Also, sure, I'll put the 4 zombies down here on the count. Sure, only one of them can actually be seen getting killed, but the 3 others we never see, so that's why I'm putting them on here. But there's also a cabin. I'm probably sure that's one of her points. Or since they're clear here, they can call this the unpacking cabin. Or maybe it's a place to unpack your inner emotions. However, since they don't want to have a feud over social media, they decide to get this over with quick, because Grandpa puts Ella to sleep with some numbers. Oh, and maybe Allison and Grandpa should also sleep. After they woke up, Grandpa said that he was gonna go out for supplies. They wanted to be in danger, so they come along with him. They also want even more supplies, so they decide to rob an abandoned grocery store. While robbing it, Allison has a suggestion. They should use a boat to go to another island. At least that's a good idea because zombies can't swim. Conveniently, there must have been a boat right there, so they go and get it into the water. Allison and Ellie, being normal people, get interrupted by shaky cam. Yeah, but Ellie, you know how you said zombies can't swim? There's one right there in the water and they tip the entire boat over. However, they immediately spot land and go there. However, Grandpa's looking a bit worse for wear lately. It turns out that he's been keeping a rather dark secret from them. Turns out he's been bit. I personally think the impact of the moment was ruined by the fact that they literally had to contemplate Allison to do it for a minute. You could have just executed him. Why not just execute him and get this all over with? But finally and reluctantly, she does it. So now we can add Grandpa to the count, being executed by Allison. Oh, sweet. Is this a flashback with someone dying? Oh, okay. This is her grandma, who's dying of something unknown. But if you were hoping that she would have stayed alive, it's too late for us. She dies, signaled by a flat line. Again, probably inappropriate music placement. The girls reach a cave to which they're, I don't know, how are they reacting? They react by sleeping. When they wake up, they decide to get some fruit from a bush and cook it in a pot. Oh, but apparently a day for them in this cave only lasts 20 seconds of actual runtime. At waking hours, Allison is reminding us that this movie had sad in its original title. He goes, might want to start exploring this barren wasteland and get up to this hill. Wait, what? This movie ends at a castle? Okay. They go up to the top off screen and start discussing their plans, which are interrupted by the usual threat as normal, shaky cam. The threat of shaky cam zombies outside sends them to a state of panic. After discussing the original plans, Ellie runs outside the castle and ultimately at the bottom of the hill. She also turns around to see Allison inside crying at her and talking. She also drops a live grenade. So what do you think the grenade's gonna do? Is it just gonna explode her, or is the entire castle filled with propane? I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. So yeah, Allison just died, as can be confirmed by this montage of memories. But the entire castle also blew up, so I'm obligated to count the other 11. Whatever. 3 months later, everything's gone mostly back to normal, with Ellie in a rocking chair with her new sister. Eventually, her dad calls her down to the dining room for the pancakes. If she doesn't get there quick, they're gonna be cold. Eventually, the movie ends with a picture of her and her family, and great, now we can fade to black and roll into the credits. Wow, good job, bravo. How many deaths could have been dragged out longer to make this thing fit into a feature-length narrative? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Oh, I can't go that way. There's like zombies over there. Well, I guess 27 people died in Radioactive? Sure, whatever, I'm willing to give this movie big numbers. The victims included 3 women, 1 dude, with the other 23 being zombies whose genders I'm not going to discern at all. And with a runtime of 28 minutes, we had to kill on average just over every minute. Please leave your award suggestions in the comments because don't want to do them for this movie. I'll pin whichever one I agree with the most. So that's it. Radioactive was released in 2020 and left me without any passion at the end of it. Next up, well, I forgot the schedule at this point, but until then, I'm not James A. Janice. This has been the parody. Is this thing on? Yeah. Thanks a lot for watching this parody. I literally lost all I wanted to do for this one by the end of it because this movie is just, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with it. I had more passion doing Breakout, but I lost it doing this movie. So I don't even know what to do anymore with all of this. Please stay tuned for the episode coming out Friday, which I believe is on Roblox on that city. And yeah, thanks for watching me lose all sanity.